Hello everyone and welcome to my channel. I have another journal. It's been a hot minute. This one's been done for a while. I just haven't gotten a chance to get a video flip through done of her. I am calling her Forget-Me-Nots and Lace, and this is a Lapbook style journal. It is quite large. Give me a second, I can tell you the measurements. Okay, so we are about almost 6.5 wide, just under 9.5 long, and we have a nearly 2 3/4 inch spine. So this cover is loaded with antique and vintage lace, appliques, doily crocheted laces, and this beautiful blue, I believe this came from like a curtain or something. It's kind of a very thick upholstery type fabric. And if you hear noises, that is my daughter. I was gonna try to get this filmed before she got up, but as soon as I got my setup all together, I heard her little voice. So we're gonna try to do this with her here and see how it goes. We do have this satin white ribbon wrapped all the way around to keep it closed. And the centerpiece here on the cover is an antique postcard. There was nothing on the back, it was not written on, so I did sew that down to the cover here, and it's got these beautiful little wildflowers. We've got some shamrocks, and I believe these are little forget-me-nots and daisies. And then I made this, and then these are newer. So untie it here. I'm gonna try to go through this fairly quickly. So this is the first side, and I have just done a collage here with a little pocket out of a CD holder, and I have stuck a vintage photo in here, these two lovely ladies at the beach. And then this opens up like this. And then here we have a little accordion folio. And inside I have just tucked in there an extra little notebook with some coffee dyed paper and some homemade paper. And a little poem there from a vintage poetry book. And then here, excuse me, we have a little pocket, and I have made just a journal card out of this children's book page. This opens up like this, and this came from a vintage Audubon Society bird book, and this is the description for this color plate here. And then there's a pocket here, and I have tucked in there just a journaling card that I made with some cardstock and some vintage lace. This opens up like this, and we have just a printable here with some vellum paper over the top. You can put photos here, whatever you would like. And then a collage here, and just a little journal tag that I made. Come to this center spot here. We have 3 fairly large signatures, and I have left a lot of space for journaling. These are just some cutouts I did on my Cricuts. Lots of coffee dyed and tea dyed pages, vintage dictionary page, cluster here, coffee dyed ledger, some hand stamping, lots of clusters. Yes, I know. Some pretty paint splatter and some lines. Lots and lots of journaling space in this book. from a vintage children's music book. Some vintage lace. This one is very delicate, so be very careful with this one. This is a little pocket I created out of some vintage music paper, and I've just tucked in one of my cards from a masterboard that I had created. Little cluster there. Some more paint splatter. Little vintage lace slip up. Rosie, honey. I've made a pocket here with a photo from a vintage book, and I have tucked in a adorable little picture here. And I made an envelope out of this blue vellum and just tucked in some blank paper. Some more hand stamping. This is from a vintage book, and I just created a flip up here with some extra journaling space in here with some paint splatter and some inked lines. Little pocket here with another adorable little vintage photo. We've got a little lace tuck here with a kind of a bookmark journaling tag that I made. Rosie, no. This was the inside cover from that vintage children's music book. And then another little journal tag that I made. Cluster here. Vintage map pages. And I've got a little double belly band here. I've tucked in some heavily coffee dyed, just kind of writing paper. Rosie, please. And then a journaling tag that I made out of this little vintage gift bag that I found, and I absolutely love the images on this. It reminds me of my childhood and all like the kitchen decor that my mom had. We had all like the goose cookie jars and stuff like that. Yeah. Some copy dyed tracing paper. Some more hand stamping and vintage music paper. There's a little corner tuck spot that I've created, and I have tucked in a little tag that I made here. And some vintage children's play money. Yes. Yes. You helping mommy? I've made a little corner tuck here with some of my excuse me, paper that I cleaned my stamps off on. And I cut out this doily. And then we've just got a vintage postcard tucked in there. Lots of sewing. Love the texture that it creates. Tags. Little cluster tuck here, and I just tucked in a vintage greeting card. Little flip out envelope here, and I have just put in there another little tag that I made. Journaling card. This one has a pocket here, and then there's just another little journaling tag that I made and tucked that in there with this adorable little clay bird button here in this cluster. And then we've got a couple little pockets here. We've got some vintage tickets, another little journaling tag that I made, and an image from a vintage history book about kings and queens, royalty. And that's in some coffee dyed vellum. More matte paper, little pocket here with a little itty bitty photo card here. A cluster, vintage buttons. This is some like lace, doily lace punching that I did on the edges here, and there was some back further too. little pocket here I made sewing two Spanish book pages together, and there is some writing in the margins here from whoever was studying. And in here I've just tucked in another little vintage photo and a stamp. Beautiful pictures from this vintage book. Another little pocket here with a tag that I made. And then on the other side of the book pages, I tucked in a little tag that I made, a little handmade envelope, and I tucked in here an adorable little vintage playing card. Good times are for sharing. Cluster with a little dragonfly charm there. Love the heavily coffee dyed pages. Some lace that I had coffee dyed through. I'll flip up. Yeah, don't break that, please. Here I have made an envelope. In the back I have tucked in this adorable little vintage postcard. And then inside the envelope we have here just a couple little tags. And then we come to this end piece here, and this is all collaged. I sewed all these strips of vintage book pages and coffee dyed papers together to make this pocket back here, and I have just tucked in just a piece of blank writing paper back there. And then in this pocket here I created this tag with this vintage photo. This opens up like this, and then on the inside here we have this that opens. Yes, and then on either end here we have pockets. There's a vintage photo in there, and on the bottom here a little journal tag out of a vintage map. Journal tag I made there. Opens up like that, lots of journaling space, another tag, and then a little vintage greeting card there. And then that folds back down like that and opens up like this. Pocket here, some more heavily coffee dyed paper and vintage postcard. Thank you. And then in this pocket here, I created a little shaker card. That all folds back down like that. And then here, there is a pocket I made here, and there is a little quote right here. Laughter is not a bad beginning for a friendship, and it is the best ending for one. Little journal tag. This opens up, and you can see I put some extra papers here, a little notebook. We've got a little pocket right here, and in this one I have tucked a vintage stamp and some vintage drugstore labels. This pocket here, I've just tucked in some very fun linen paper. And back here, there's another pocket, and a pocket on the side. This has some vintage tickets, and this is just a journaling tag. And that all folds back up like that, and like that. Tie this back together. And that is that. That is Forget-Me-Nots and Lace. And she will be for sale up in my Etsy shop. You can check that out. It is Savvy Arts. You can check me out on Instagram at Sunshine Daisy Mama with underscores between the words. And I will link everything down below as well. If you have any questions, comments, please leave them down below. Thank you everybody that has been subscribing and interacting with my videos and my posts. I love it. It's greatly appreciated. And I hope to continue to make nice content for everybody and beautiful journals. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time. Bye.